Good morning. Welcome back to the Patchwork Quilt. So today's craft I'm really excited about. We are going to be making these corn cobs out of pine cones. I almost said pine cones out of corn cobs, but that would have been wrong. It would have been backwards. So yeah, the pine cones I got out of my yard. The fabric I already had here, and the raffia I already had here. So inexpensive, for me free, for you, I don't know, depending on if you have fabric and raffia, might be free for you too, but we're going to make them today. So first thing you need is a pine cone or several pine cones. Go crazy with it. You might as well make more than one. And you need to paint this with some yellow paint. But before you paint the pine cone, you need to bake this in the oven, 200 degrees for about 45 minutes. That's going to get rid of all the creepy crawlies so you don't have little bugs crawling all around your house because you decided to bring the nature inside. You're also going to need some fabric. This fabric here is some fabric that I paint stained, and then I dried it outside in the sun, and I thought that would look probably a little bit better than this dark green that I've got. Maybe you like the dark green. I mean, I like it, but I think for the corn cobs, we need a lighter green. So if you want to see how I paint stained fabric, let me know down in the comments, and I will do a little video for you. Raffia. I have scrap raffia in this little baggie because when I use raffia, I cut the ends off, or I don't, but when I do, I put them in a baggie and save them for later because you never know what you're going to need them for. You need some scissors, you need some wire cutters, because we're going to be using these pipe cleaners so that our leaves bend however that we want them to. See, look, you can just go crazy with these little leaves. Pipe cleaners work magic. Okay, and of course you need a glue gun. Mine is across the room. So before we start, I'm going to go grab that and then we'll get started. All right, so I've already had a lot of technical difficulties today. I've already made 2 leaves, and the first one I forgot to hit record. The second one, microphone wasn't working. It's been a rough day. So I'm gonna make 2 more of these leaves. Hopefully you'll be able to see one of them before the day's over with. Okay, so when we were making our leaves, we need to first fold our fabric in half because we're gonna be making both sides at one time so that they're even. So fold your fabric in half to make your leaves. And then I don't have a pattern, I'm sorry, but we all know what corn leaves look like, right? I hope so. Just freehand it. If you need a pattern, cut one out on a piece of paper until you get it right, and then transfer it to your fabric with like some chalk, so this way it wipes off. But I'm just going with it. I'm freehanding it. Let me get my fabric done right. Okay. You do want to, however, make sure that your leaf is longer than your pine cone because a short leaf is no good. So longer than your pine cone, and then freehand it. And corn leaves, they don't really have a lot of curve to them. So you can really just cut a straight piece of fabric with a little point at the end, and you'll have a corn leaf. Really simple. Oh, I didn't cut this last part off. Okay, so I've got my leaf cut. Like I said, it's really straight. It's got a point at the end. And instead of getting another pipe cleaner, I'm gonna just put these 2 together. So before you glue in your pipe cleaners, you want to, and this isn't perfect, it's still a little bit off, but it's better than it would have been if I would have tried to cut 2 separate pieces. So I'm gonna put a dab of glue at the top of our leaf and just glue the 2 pieces together so they don't move a whole lot while I'm trying to put in my pipe cleaners. Oh, and I glued my finger. So flip back the top piece, and like I said, I'm going to use 2 Run a bead of glue down the center of the bottom and put your pipe cleaner on there. And the second one I'm going to cut down to size because I don't need the whole thing. And that is where the wire cutters come in handy. Just clip that off. Okay, now to glue your leaf together, this is going to be really difficult. Run a bead of glue down close to the edge on one side. And that's how you're going to line it up as best you can. Press it down and then turn it around. And run a bead of glue down the other side. It's really easy. Oh, my glue gun got stuck. Okay, ow. Ooh, I did burn myself that time. I usually don't burn myself because I burnt myself so much, I'm used to it. And now, look here, we've got a leaf that we can bend however we want to. The magic of the pipe cleaners. Now I think 3 is going to do it, but we'll have to see. I might have to make one more. So the key to this is in the front, you want to kind of angle your leaves backwards, which is why I think I might need one more, because I didn't really make these as big as I probably should have. No, I think that'll do it. All right, so while I'm putting these together, I'm gonna bring y'all in some so you can see it better, because I don't think you can see what I'm doing from so far away. So let's come in a little bit. Okay, so after you have your leaves together and your pine cone painted, you're ready to go ahead and put your corn cob together. So on the back leaf, you want to take and run a bead of glue about, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch up. Excuse me. And then place your pine cone on it and kind of wrap the sides like that. And hold it until it dries, because if you don't hold it till it dries, it might pull away. And then you want to take your side leaf and you want to kind of put it at an angle like that, because we want it to wrap around like it's a little blanket like that. And then we are going to glue down the front first. And then do the same thing on the other side with the other leaf. Okay, now we're going to go to the back and we're going to glue down the back. On both sides. Okay, now that we've got all the leaves glued to our pine cone, we're going to flip down this back leaf like this, and we need to glue it up a little bit further. So that it all comes together. Okay, now before we finish gluing our leaves together, we want to put our raffia in. So how I like to do it is I like to take a bunch of it and twist it because it gets kind of unruly, so you need to twist it up. Makes it easier to put in. Then we're just going to put some glue down in here and add the raffia. And we'll do the same thing on the other side in the back. All right, now we've got our raffia in there. We're gonna glue the rest of these side leaves down. Coming out the back. I can cut that later. And you just wanna run a bead of glue up this way. Push this one in, push that over top of it. Same thing on the other side. And I'm gonna add a little bit more raffia to this front part here because we want it to look like we just opened up the corn. So I got these little pieces. Ooh, that was a big piece. I'm going to glue into the front. Like that. And a couple more here. And then we're going to finish closing up the front of this by adding a little bit more hot glue in here and pressing that down. Okay, now we can fold back our leaves. And we have a little corn stalk. What do you think about that? Finished corn. Like I said, pine cone, green fabric. This fabric was actually cream and I paint stained it. So if you don't have green fabric, you have cream fabric, you can do that. That's an option. Or you can go to the Goodwill. Goodwill has sheets and shirts and jeans and all kinds of stuff that you can buy for inexpensive and use to cut up for fabric. So that's always an option for you. I hope you enjoyed making these corn with me. I really enjoyed making them. I think they turned out really cute, and I've got an idea to do something else with them. And I'll probably do that in a couple of days. So we're going to be using this corn and the primitive sunflowers that we made the other day in the video, and we're going to turn it into one big fall craft. So that'll be coming up. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you next time right here when we're making our next craft.